Hello everyone and welcome. The Last Oricru is an RPG game developed by Gold Knights and published by Prime Matter. At first, when I saw this game on Steam, I'll be honest, it didn't pique my interest one little bit, so I decided to look further into what other games the publisher had published other than The Last Oricru. And to my surprise, they had this game on their list. This game is very old, but I had fun with it back then, so I decided to give The Last Oricru a try, and hopefully, I can feel the same excitement as when I play Painkiller Overdose. After I finished the game, overall the game is okay, but there are also some areas where the game could have improved more. So if you are still unsure or still thinking whether this game is worth your time or not, watch this video until the end. Story. The Last Oricru is an RPG game with a heavy emphasis on player choice. At the start of the game, you are stabbed by this creature and die. And then during your death, haha, that sounds funny. You have a vision where you meet with a talking bolt. It says spaceship, but that is not her name. Her real name is AIDA. You'll know more about her later. In that vision, she will say something that you don't even understand yet. After a quick combat tutorial and a list of movesets, you are now ready. After that, you will respawn and meet this guy, Patriarch Maltis. He will tell you about some training that you must do, and to get there, you must follow the rat. You will follow this rat until you meet two more people like you. This is Brian and this is Petra. When you first met them, they seem to have disagreements with each other, but after they see you, they will stop their conversation and talk to you. If you are interested in gathering more information, you can go and meet with them again. They are not far from the place where you met with them before. After you have arrived in the training area, this guy, Tobias, will greet you and talk about some stuff, but the main thing to note here is that he will test your combat skills, starting with the easy ones and working up to the hardest. It is then followed by a scene where Tobias tells you to go to the armory to find better weapons, and there you get a chance to talk with the red kid named Gok. Here, you will gather some interesting information about how they are treated by Tobias. Still, whether you want to beat them all is up to you, because whether you win or lose, this game is still in its introduction. I beat them all anyway, because the last enemy is kinda an a-hole, according to Brian, and he deserved to lose. After I defeated Marco, Tobias will give you his lucky ring and tell you to go and meet with Patriarch Maltis again, kinda like, hey, go brag about your victory to Patriarch Maltis, something like that. When you met with Patriarch Maltis the second time, suddenly, they had a surprise visitor from their queen, whose name is Queen Hadriana. The queen suspects that Patriarch Maltis may have hidden a forbidden technology, and she wants to know the truth. Do you see that lightning rod over there? That is what she meant. Until here, I will stop, because I will explain this later in the cons. Also, it is not my intention to make this video too long. Pros and cons. We start with pros. Gameplay. The gameplay of this game is quite easy, and most of the enemies I can beat straight away. If the enemy is too strong, all I have to do is collect more essence and level up, and sooner or later, I'll beat that enemy. Witty jokes. Whenever Silver said something, it's funny.
What's the problem? Not big enough for you?
Me alone.
Just give me a few more seconds to observe the outcome of your meticulous planning.
Ha ha ha.
Roller coaster. Wanna feel like riding a roller coaster, but in the mines. This game has that. Now, the cons. Story. The Last Oricru is an RPG game with a heavy emphasis on player choice. And that is what I said earlier in the game. See, during this scene, I have two choices. Either I tell the truth that Patriarch Maltis and Tobias are involved with hiding the lightning rod, or I could just lie about it and tell the queen that I never saw it.
And all they gave me was shitty.
The choice that I make is this. Reason? Patriarch Maltis saved my life, and I somehow see him as my savior. He even said he is a keeper and devoted to keeping me alive. But at the same time, the only reason they are keeping me alive is because I am useful to them in war. And also, because they saved my life,
You talk
I have a
about some
debt with
kind?
them. What a manipulative
For the
word.
sleep of the ascended.
At this point, I don't see why I should have
really
any
had that
emotional
weird
attachment to
dream
this
of being
person.
in one,
He
and I
even
couldn't get
calls
it
me
to
a
return.
weakling at some
What do you
point.
want from me?
Tobias, on the
We don't
other hand,
consider it killing.
at first I thought of him as a sensei or sifu
Bar
because
rats,
he was
like
in
in
charge of my
non-killing
training.
practice
But as the
sparring.
game progresses, he doesn't care about
You
you
are
or who you
funny.
kill.
It's
Whether
just
you kill the
rats.
ratkin
Get
or the
better
human,
things to better
he
kill
just wants
our
to
kin.
prepare you for war.
Like you
It is
kids
further
do.
supported by Kok saying,
Be not like Tobias. He tortures. He kills. Be proud of that.
I'm surprised Petra still doesn't know or didn't even stab this guy in the back.
Probably, yeah.
Well,
One
he
day.
is still alive. Cause
That's
further
all
in
I
the
know.
story,
Ratties
she's
are
the
as
one who
human
more
as the
obsessed with
Naboru,
saving the
or even
ratkins.
more.
She even
Killing them
become
is
part of
murder.
them at some point later in the
Yeah,
story.
yeah. What I mean to say is, sorry.
Now, let's
Now
go
I'm just
back to the
blabbering.
scene. Before this scene, the queen said,
Bring those traitors.
and at this point, I haven't picked any of
Have
the
you
choice
seen any
yet.
such atrocities
So,
here?
it's
Mercy,
like
my queen,
the
mercy.
cutscene already told me or implied that these
of a
guys
swift
are the
death.
bad ones, even before I discovered it myself. Maybe there's a problem with the story pacing? Aren't we still in the investigation process? If I went back earlier in the game, there is a scene where, while talking with this floating head, she told me to,
Don't trust anybody except me.
but where is she at this point? Still swimming in the lake,
I'm a goddess living in their waters. The lady of the lake.
not even capable of giving me a telepathic message?
Except me.
After making this choice, not only did I get more items and easier gameplay, but I didn't even get attacked by the Queen's Guard. I even married the Queen at one point.
My responsibility.
Even. You married the queen. Adriana's now your wife. Go Silver.
Yeah, thanks man.
Rub it in.
Goals list. As the game progressed, you will complete a lot of missions, and as the list became very long, the font also became too small to read. Dear developer, you need to fix this. Game save. After you make a decision, you are unable to reverse it by going to the save file and loading it back. The only way you can reverse it is by using F11
Curious
to
how
make the
often
window
the
smaller
boy
and
asked
then
me to kill
pressing
somebody
X
for
to
them.
close.
I won't
This
do
game
your
should have a
dirty
saving
work
list
for you.
like Cyberpunk to make it easier for players to look back at their old save files. Sound design. I wouldn't say that the music is bad, but it's kind of bland. There was a time when, while I was playing this game, the surroundings were too silent, as if not much was happening inside the game. But the ending musical scene was good. Bad optimization. Lag and stutter were always present in this game when I played it. For me, it only happens when there is too much going on in the game. For example, when two or more enemies attack me at once. Usually, something that you do that requires fast movement, like dodging an attack or anything that involves quick movement. Tips. After I finished the game, there were only two obstacles that I found quite challenging at some point. This scene and this scene. For this scene, this creature here is very strong. It only needs one shot and you are dead. To beat it, all you need to do is kill as much of this birdman as you can to level up until you reach the point where you are strong enough to have damage that can kill the birdman in one shot. During the fight, whenever this creature does something like this, go and attack it while it is still in that position. Then run back to here and wait. This action will dodge its area of effect attack. Repeat it again until it dies. And for the second scene, this one is quite tricky, as it has two stages. In the first stage, you need to equip a one-handed weapon and a shield. For me, this is easier because I don't need to think about what weapon to switch to in the second stage. Whenever the mechanical claw gets near you, you dodge it and then destroy the claw. In the second stage, here is when your shield becomes handy, because now, not only do you have to destroy the mechanical claws, but you also have to defeat the enemies that come to attack you. Don't give up, and eventually, you will be able to destroy this big head. This is the end, and thank you for watching. Rex was signing out.